Still to come, the second hour of the show, Joe Trissini's in for a chat. Hey Dermot, shout out to my 4-year-old Daisy-kin Walker, currently en route to hang out with Auntie Isabel and Winston for barbecue prawns, ice cream, and recording their debut album. That's good. Big shout out to Sam and St Paul's Panthers. Big cricket game today. Shout out to Jonas's under-9 football team, the mighty Wessex Rebels, playing in their first final in Somerset this morning. Love to those guys, best of luck. Big shout out to, if I'm not too late, get a shout out to the under-11 girls from Larkhall Athletic, otherwise known as the Eagles, playing in the cup final tomorrow. Feel free to say up the Larks. Well, hang on, is it the Eagles or the Larks? I'm confused. Many thanks, Sasha, Simon, and other parents supporting them. Keep them coming in. Text the 88 to 91 in when we Dermot at bbc.co.uk. Back in a sec.
This is Radio 2.
Time for the news.
BBC Sounds.
And on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at 9 o'clock. This is Claire Ronacres. Ukraine's president has welcomed a decision by the US to support the training of Ukrainian pilots on American F-16 fighter jets, saying the move will greatly enhance his country's army in the sky. Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in the Japanese city of Hiroshima, where he'll meet President Biden and other G7 leaders at their annual summit. General Sir Adrian Bradshaw, who's a former NATO Deputy Supreme Allied Commander in Europe, says giving Ukraine access to the fighter jets is a very significant development.
They can enable the Ukrainians to support their ground forces in the air-land battle by delivering that sort of asymmetric advantage over the Russians in time and space that they need for the periods that they're doing particular manoeuvres on the ground.
G7 leaders have issued a statement on a shared approach to China on the second day of the summit. The US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said it reflected the desire for stable relations with Beijing, but also provided a set of tools to address concerns. Polling data has revealed thousands of people were unable to vote in England's local elections because they didn't have the necessary ID. Information from more than half of the councils running polls shows that more than 26,000 voters were denied a ballot initially, with around two-thirds coming back with the correct identification later. Our political correspondent Leila Nathu says May the 4th was the first big test of new government rules on voter ID.
Really important to understand the impact of this new policy. The Elections Watchdog is going to publish its own analysis. These figures aren't the complete picture, but really important for everyone to get across these new requirements because they are going to be in place at the next general election.
Greater Manchester Police have released the name of a 37-year-old man who died in Leigh after being attacked by a dog. The force has also released a statement from Jonathan Hogg's family. Charlotte Reid reports.
Police were called to an area of Leigh on Thursday evening where they found 37-year-old Jonathan Hogg with serious injuries, believed to have been caused by a dangerous dog. Armed officers were brought in to try to control the dog. In the end, it was put down as officers believed it posed a significant risk to the public. Mr. Hogg was taken to hospital. He died the next morning. In a statement, his family described him as a kind and well-loved person. A 24-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the incident.
The American basketball star Brittany Griner has played her first competitive game since returning to the US after being held in Russia over drug charges. The double Olympic gold medalist was detained in Moscow in February last year before being released in a prisoner swap in December. And a masked protester has attacked a statue on the front of BBC's broadcasting house in central London. There's been a campaign to have the sculpture removed because its creator, Eric Gill, sexually abused his daughters. The statue had been undergoing repairs after being damaged by a protester last year. The weather, cloudy with some patches of rain for Scotland and Northern Ireland, sunny in England and Wales. BBC News, it's 9:03.
Thank you, Claire.
Now, this is Dermot O'Leary.
Hey, welcome back. So it's Mental Health Awareness Week. So for the next 20 or so minutes, we're going to be chatting about topics which may include